recording. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to Precarious Pixels. As always, I'm Tim. With me is...
I'm Bob. I don't know.
I'm Bob.
Is it ever not weird? I'm sorry.
I'm Bob.
Can't change who I am.
It's very true.
I am Bob.
That was better.
Yeah.
That was so much better. And this week we're going to talk about some stuff we just saw. And some stuff we're playing and some good movies. And so pay attention. I don't know. I'm terrible.
I try to make it uncomfortable for Tim while we do this.
Yeah. No, I think I make it uncomfortable for myself.
You know who makes things uncomfortable for people?
Who's that?
Harley Quinn.
Why do you say that?
Because she's pretty much a jerk.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah, so this weekend, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous
Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes. Or as some people are calling it, the Harley Quinn movie with Birds of Prey.
That's what it should be called.
Yeah. And honestly, this is more about Harley Quinn than the Birds of Prey.
Absolutely. You learn nothing about any of the Birds of Prey aside from the cop.
Well, we do, and the Huntress.
You get a backstory.
And the Huntress.
That's it. You get a backstory.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's all you need.
That's all you need?
She's
yeah,
out
tell
for
that
revenge.
to the Justice League movie.
Justice League. You know, in that whole movie, they never call him the Flash once.
Do they not?
No. So this is a little tangent. So recently, TV Flash and the Arrowverse, as they call it, had their big crossover called Crisis on Infinite Earths, where they have all the superhero shows do like crossover and stuff. And apparently, it was not only that, but a crossover with their DC TV shows on their streaming app and all the other shows and the movies. And guess who showed up?
Joker.
Ezra Miller.
Ah, well.
And he met the TV Flash, and he's like, hey, you're kind of dressed like me. He's like, you're kind of dressed like me. And then he's like, who are you? He's like, well, I'm the Flash. And he's like, oh, the Flash. That's a good name. Because they never call him the Flash in that stupid movie.
I wonder if they did in the Snyder Cut.
No, I don't think so.
What's your opinion on that?
To see it?
Do you think you should be allowed to see it as a fan? Do you think it's wise of Warner Brothers to not allow that cut to be released? Because that's their thing. They're not letting it out.
Well, I think it wouldn't make what they did any better. I've seen the storyboard artists have actually released a lot of what was in it, and I've seen some animatics from it. And honestly, I'm just like, the only thing that's really big difference is Darkseid shows up. Like, it's not so much Steppenwolf. It's a lot more Darkseid. And I think Green Lantern shows up at one point.
But what does it solve? Like,
it doesn't solve anything.
That's my point is, like, why not just do it? If at that point, if the fans are going to pay for it, right, and they just want to see it, why not?
Honestly, what they should do is release it on their streaming service.
Yeah, get people to sign up for that, because what else do they have?
Yeah.
All I ever see for that streaming service is animation Harley Quinn, like them advertising that.
They advertise that. They advertise, at least for a while, Doom Patrol and the Titans, the Teen Titans show that they have. Well, I think it's just called Titans, right? It's not Teen Titans.
I think it's called Titans, yeah.
Yeah, because Teen Titans is,
No, that's not
a great
edgy
show.
Enough. You need to be super edgy.
Yeah. Because, they say that, Robin's like F Batman.
He does. He says that.
He does. And I'm just like, wow.
Even though he's still his partner.
I know.
I can understand Nightwing saying that.
Yeah. Which I think probably I don't really watch that show, but I think they're going to introduce him as Nightwing now.
Oh, so he's not Robin anymore.
He might. I think there's kind of like that's their big tease is he's going to go from Robin to Nightwing. Because that's what he did when he joined the Titans. He kind of like threw away the Robin costume and then became his own superhero.
Got it. Wow.
And wow, So Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. So yeah, I'm trying to think what you could really say. I liked it. There's a few things I would definitely change about it. The narration is interesting and sometimes funny, but also kind of like Harley Quinn herself, a little bit all over the place. At least this version of her, where it's just like, hey, let's stop the movie right in the middle of something and go way back and explain something. It really kind of like kills momentum for certain things here and there. I'm not really sure that they really get it back. I don't know. What was your feeling on it?
I think that the first half hour of the movie was fine.
Yes.
And then the rest of it, like, it screeches to a halt.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the whole movie comes to a halt.
Like, literally.
When she starts singing.
Oh, that part.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Which I thought was kind of interesting.
That's where, for me, it just goes, it, like, stops.
Yes.
And it never is able to pick back up.
Yeah.
I know almost nothing about the Birds of Prey.
Okay.
I know who Huntress is.
Okay.
So I already knew that was coming. I knew that twist. However.
Right. You mean the crossbow killer?
Yeah. Sorry, the crossbow
killer. Yeah.
I don't know anything about Cassandra Cain.
Yes.
And I know she's one of them, right? I know at one point she was a Batgirl.
She was. Which makes this kind of weird. This story is very weird for her.
That's fine, right? Maybe she was angsty teenager, if she was even a teenager. I don't know how old that kid was. She could have been anywhere from 8 to 30.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know anything about the Black Canary, aside from the one thing that they don't use throughout the whole movie, except for one spot.
Yeah, I did kind of think that was weird that they used that very sparingly. I get it was going to be like that was going to be like the big moment.
Was it? Was it supposed to be?
I think it was supposed to be like the big moment. I would have liked a little bit more lead up to it.
They could have had that outside at the very first scene where she's fighting.
Mm.
They could have had that.
Yeah.
Right then. That could have been her solution to the problem.
Yeah. But the thing about Black Canary is she's also a very capable fighter. So that's like also
Clearly.
like a big thing with her. I think for a while, and the reason I kind of was like, oh, maybe she won't do the canary cry, or maybe she won't have that power yet, is for the longest time I think she didn't have it. Like I think that was like something her mother had, and then like she didn't get it for like a very long time or something along those lines. I don't know the whole story behind it, but she's supposed to be like, you know, great hand-to-hand fighter, and that was like her big thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? The movie doesn't tell you that.
Right.
She's just a lounge singer.
Yeah.
So she's a lounge singer. The other girl's a pickpocket.
Mm.
Rosie Perez is an undervalued detective at best.
Right.
At worst, a drunk whose ideas get stolen.
Yes.
Because she's very much a drunk throughout this entire movie. And that's something they keep talking about.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know, it's that, which is also kind of a weird thing with her.
And who am I missing? Huntress, just angry.
Yeah.
Crossbow killer. She's clearly a murderer.
Yes, most definitely.
So, and then you have Harley Quinn,
mm-hmm.
who is nuts and is willing to kill people
mm-hmm.
and is willing to hurt people. And who's the good guy?
It is kind of a lot of gray hats kind of thing.
It's not just gray hats. Like, every one of them
mm-hmm.
is a scumbag.
I wouldn't say Rosie Perez is a scumbag.
She's carrying around a loaded weapon, firing it off drunk.
True.
Is she not?
But for like the main part of it, I don't think she really was drunk until like that last scene.
No, she was drunk when she was investigating the crime at the beginning.
Well, no, she wasn't drunk there.
She was.
No.
The other cop says something to her
Hmm.
about being wasted at the very beginning when she's investigating the crossbow killer's murder scene. He says something to her about it.
Really, I never picked up
Yeah.
on that because she didn't seem like she was like her drunk.
She was drunk throughout the whole thing. Another time in the police department, she like pulls out a flask. After she gets like taken off the job that she wants to investigate.
Yeah.
Not before not when they take her badge and shield.
Okay.
Before that.
Okay.
When she just wants to investigate the crossbow killer, and her boss is like, nah.
Okay.
And she's like, well, I got the DA in on this because she's wasted.
Yeah.
It's whatever. Anyway, let's say she's not a totally bad person.
Right.
Even though she's that. And
Yeah.
she's willing to put Black Canary at risk for an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she already knows that happened to her mother. Like, what happened?
Right.
So she's not. Anybody else not a scumbag? The kid steals from everybody. Black Canary kind of isn't, but she's willing to watch people get harmed in other situations. In
Yeah.
the club.
She's not necessarily a bad person, but she's not necessarily like really helping anybody.
And she's certainly willing to be around bad people.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like, well, for the most part, this movie is almost a redemption arc for these characters. I think more of the Birds of Prey than Harley.
Yeah.
Because at the end, kind of Harley still stays like, steals stuff and crime. And
There's no reason for her to do what she does.
yeah.
I can't figure it out. She feels bad for
Wait,
the kid.
yeah, I think that was it. Like she feels bad for the kid. I think also it is like kind of like making her own character. She relies on nobody. Like I think that was kind of like the whole thing.
They couldn't have said that more.
I know. Which I also thought was just like, well, she kind of, I don't know. This is such a weird version of Harley. It's definitely its own thing. It doesn't really relate so much to the comics version or the original animated series version. It's definitely something they've developed with like Suicide Squad and stuff. Which, is she going to be back for Suicide Squad? I don't know. I don't think so. So
You don't think she's going to be in Suicide Squad too?
I don't think so.
How are they going to sell tickets?
Idris Elba.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that first one relied heavily on her and Will Smith.
Yes, I think definitely on Will Smith.
And I think that it wouldn't have... Oh, and her. You
Yeah.
kidding? It's Harley Quinn. It's
Yeah.
the character, not even the actress at that point. That's that character. Because
Yeah.
she was the only one people really knew.
True.
Like, non-super big comic book fans. Everybody was
Right.
like, Harley Quinn's in it. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Nobody's going for Captain Boomerang. Sorry, Tim.
Nobody. Yes, my favorite character. No, nobody's going for that. Nobody's going for Flag or. Well, they might. Waller was pretty big at the time.
But I'm saying non-comic book fans. Because otherwise, if you're saying...
Well, I think also people saw the Joker was in this before we actually saw the movie and realized Joker isn't really a big part of this, but also not a very good Joker anyways.
well, Joker's not even in this one.
Yeah.
They don't even show him.
I don't think they show him at all.
And then when they show the painting she's made of him,
Yes.
it looks like classic Joker.
It does, which is also kind of interesting. Which I was like, yeah, because she looks like when they do, because at the beginning they do like an animated version of her, and it looks like the one that was in Suicide Squad a bit, and then but the Joker doesn't look like the one that they had in Suicide Squad. He doesn't have any tattoos on his head, like nothing like that. He looks like classic Joker. It's interesting.
Do you think that it would have been smart during her like little drunk thing, like because she becomes, I guess, a drunk for a while?
Yeah.
As well.
She's partying,
That would have been a good place for her to meet Rosie Perez's character.
True.
Well, that's whatever. I don't know. I didn't write the script.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't it have been a good idea for her to then have the tattoos lasered off so she could at least not look like Suicide Squad and maybe avoid that? maybe avoid that connotation if they're going to go with this character. Because it's awful. I hate everything about those stupid tattoos. I don't think anybody ever liked them.
Which tattoos?
Damaged.
Oh,
rotten
yeah.
Or whatever. Like, they're on her face the whole movie.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that she had the tattoo on her face. But, whatever. I mean, that aside, the only thing that, like, I have to say really was great in this movie was Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was amazing. And a version of Black Mask that I didn't even see coming. Like, it was, like, such a different take on it, but still good. Just spoilers because of, what happens to him at the end. We're not going to get him back, which kind of stinks because I was like, that would have been great to carry him over.
Actually, the acting was not the problem at all that I have with this movie. I think everybody did a solid job.
Oh, yeah, all the acting was good.
It's just, I didn't like the script.
Mm.
I thought that there was no great fight. They needed a good fight with her in Black Mask, or at least to explain Black Mask.
Yeah, they didn't explain the mask, the false facers. Like, at the very end, everybody's wearing masks. And the only thing that I can even come up with that came close to that was, like, he shows Harley around his little office, and there's, like, these masks and shrunken heads and stuff, but they don't really go into, like, that's, like, his gang's thing, is they all wear masks. It's, like, they call them false facers.
But Zaz doesn't.
But Zaz doesn't. But which is also weird because Zaz is like Hannibal Lecter and not really like a henchman kind of guy. He doesn't work for anybody.
He does here.
Yeah. And they've used him a lot like that. Like even in I think Batman Begins, he shows up in a court case as he's affiliated with Tom, what's his name? The guy who's like the crime boss in Batman Begins, the very first one.
Falcone. Right?
Falcone. Like he's associated with him. But it's such a weird thing. Because Zaz doesn't do that at all.
He wouldn't have been like an assassin for anybody?
No, I think most of his killing is his reasoning. I don't think there is like a thing. Like he's manipulated people to kill people for him, because he's in Arkham for like the longest time, but he's not really like I don't work for people. Like usually I don't think there's been anything where he's worked for anybody. But I think the guy who played him very well. I just thought it was weird that he also is like a Harley Quinn kind of or like a Black Mask holdover, like henchman kind of dude.
I agree.
Yeah, but Ewan McGregor did a great job. Sad that he didn't get to stay around, but
yeah, I thought he was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't like the movie. It was better than Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a great movie. It wasn't what I wanted it to be. Like I wanted this to be bam, we can make an awesome Harley Quinn movie, and bam, we can make a minor DC movie work.
Right.
Because this shouldn't be it's not Aquaman, right? It's not going to be $1 billion movie.
No.
But it could be a Doctor Strange,
yeah.
Right? It could be that for the DCU, and they couldn't make it work, right?
Yeah.
Or Guardians. This should have been their Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm sure that's what they were thinking.
Yeah. But I mean, which is still strange because I'm wondering the budget for this was probably not even close to what they paid for the Joker movie.
It was $100 million.
This was $100 million, and I'm sure probably the Joker was $50 million.
Yeah,
and most of that was probably Joaquin's salary and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it'll probably be a success. It was number one at the box office. I don't know if it was really going up against anything, but I think it'll do okay.
I think number 2 was Bad Boys for Life,
which had been out already, right?
Yeah, it's its 3rd week or 4th week.
Yeah, so it really didn't go up against anything. We were in the theater. It wasn't really too packed, but it was like we were also at a very early show.
It also has a lot working against it. It's an R-rated movie.
True.
And superheroes.
Yeah.
Super villains and heroes.
But honestly, it's mostly for language, violence, but no like nudity, nothing like that. I mean, not really anything super sexual. I would say jokes, but like not really anything like there's no sex scenes or anything in it.
It didn't have to even be, in my opinion. Like this didn't have to be an R-rated movie. They could have easily censored some of the words.
Right.
Right, or cut some of the F-bombs out because it's whatever.
Right.
Suicide Squad was PG-13. That should have been the one they started going edgy with.
Right.
But yeah, they could have made this work as PG-13, and they probably had doubled what they made the first weekend.
Probably.
Just based on the fact that Harley Quinn's in it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still liked it. It's worth a watch. But I don't know, going forward, if they do another one of these, like, would you want another Harley Quinn movie? Would you want a Birds of Prey movie?
I'd like to see what they do with the Birds of Prey, to be honest. I mean, Harley Quinn, I don't know. They're trying to make her a character on her own, but I don't know if she works on her own. Like,
Yeah.
Even this, they needed the backup. They needed something interesting other than she's just crazy.
Yeah, because I think it's better when she has somebody to play off of.
Right. She's a sidekick. That's who she was.
Right.
And I get that they don't want her to be a sidekick because she makes them a lot of money in merchandise.
Yeah.
But that's the character. I don't know if you can make that character into something else because there's no straight man for her to play off here. Everybody's kind of scuzzy.
Right.
Maybe if they have her be... If they put her with one of the Birds of Prey, and they tried to make a movie about that, like maybe she works with Huntress, and they're trying to get revenge against something, because I thought Ramona Flowers did a great job.
Yes.
Even though she
Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
Yeah. She didn't have much to work with because she's barely in the movie, but...
Right.
You put her with somebody where she can play off them, or even Black Canary.
Yeah. Because, honestly, she seems like the most socially awkward person, which I think would have been very interesting because it seems like all she's thought about was revenge and getting revenge and probably didn't really go out and have a normal childhood.
But has watched movies. Because she's the one...
No, wait.
She's the one who says later on, earlier in the movie, we're expected to believe that Rosie Perez is a child of the 80s.
Yes.
I don't know what 80s.
Okay.
1880s?
Sure.
She's old.
Oh, wow.
She is a little bit old. I think she's 55. I think I looked it up.
That's okay.
But don't lie to me, movie. Anyway, so she says later, the one person who shouldn't have said this is the one who says it. Why is Rosie Perez talking like she's in a bad 80s cop movie?
Yeah.
Why, of all the people there, every single other person would be exposed to 80s cop movies. She would be focused on revenge 100% of the time. She'd be like Rambo, right? She'd be keeping her head down and just training.
Right.
Why is she the one who says it? Is it because she has 3 lines of dialogue in the entire film? I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah.
Why is Mr. X from the X-Files in this movie?
Mr. X? Wait, what?
He plays her ex-partner. That's the captain now. That doesn't listen to her. Hey, can we talk about him? Let's talk about the captain.
Okay.
All right. Now this guy.
I'm the captain.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
If we're to believe the plot of this movie, this is just going to be like one little deep dive because there's a lot of plot holes in this movie, and that's I think what bothers me more than anything.
Okay.
He was her partner.
Right.
Right? She solves this big case with him, but
right.
she does all the work.
Right.
He takes the credit for all of that.
Right.
And becomes captain. Fine, right? He's a jerk.
Okay.
But he knows she's a good detective.
Yes.
So why does he ignore everything she says?
That is kind of a weird thing. Like, that didn't make sense to me.
None of it. How about they blow up a giant chemical plant in the middle of Gotham City?
Right.
Everybody's fine.
That is true. That is true.
It's ridiculous.
Which I gotta believe, like, I think there's like I think the CDC would show up.
I think some people would probably be sick.
Yeah.
There'd probably be a lot of death.
Yeah, but then again, maybe they're just like, they've been poisoned with the Joker so many times, you know?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a weird one. I hope they make more. I hope they maybe, like, this first outing, they'll say, like, oh, okay, we did okay with this one, but, you know, let's do a second one, maybe make it a little bit different. I mean, the action was done very well. I mean, it was the action directors from John Wick. They didn't make...
That fight scene in the police department was crazy.
Yeah, it was really good.
And really fashionable, I guess.
Fashionable?
I don't know how else to explain it. She seems to be shooting people with pink sparkles.
Oh, yes.
In a grenade launcher.
Which I was just like, that's just kind of a weird choice for that. I don't know if you can really load those canisters with that kind of stuff, but...
You probably can.
Yeah. I'm sure it probably still hurts to get hit with that. Like, you get hit with a canister full of that stuff, I'm sure it still hurts. Because I think it's... What they're trying to say is that's like a beanbag gun.
Well, that was one of them, but she also had the grenade launcher launching pink tear gas, too.
Oh, okay.
If you remember, she, like, blasts the guy in the chest, right, like, leaving the one office, and it lands, and it starts spewing out the pink tear gas.
Right.
Everybody's fine, I guess, the police.
Yeah.
She shoots a lot of cops.
She does shoot a lot of cops. I think that was kind of like the thing. They were like, well, we can't have her go into the police station and just shoot a bunch of cops. Let's do, like, something different with that.
How would this movie have gotten made if that was a guy instead of a lady walking into a police department and shooting everybody, even if it's with beanbags? Would that have been allowed to happen?
I think so.
I think you're mistaken.
You don't think that would happen?
I think you're mistaken. I don't think it would happen. I think you replace her with the Joker, blowing up a chemical plant.
Okay.
Shooting up a bunch of cops. Let's say with non-lethal weapons.
Okay.
Shooting up a club, and then shooting up an amusement park.
What was the amusement park?
The end.
Oh, well, that was like, it was closed down.
But the club?
What does she do in the club? I'm trying to think.
Doesn't she go berserk before they, like, capture her, or do they capture her first? Maybe they capture her first.
They capture her first.
That's right. They what looks like Russians, but they're not Russians. I guess they're mob.
Yeah.
I guess. What's Falcone's... Or not Falcone. What's, Roman? Is it?
I think it's... Well, Black Mask.
Sionis. Roman Sionis.
Yes.
What is his affiliation? Because I guess they're supposed to be Italian mob.
I don't know.
Because Zaz was working with them.
Right.
When he was 20 years younger, looking exactly the same.
Yes. Without as many cuts.
Yeah. I guess. Did he not have as many?
Yeah, well, he had some on his face and stuff, and that is kind of something that Zaz does. Like, there's a part where he opens up his shirt and shows you, like, all the cuts, and those are all the people that he's killed.
Did they say that?
Well, he said...
So I feel like he said there's a spot right here for you, but he doesn't say what it is.
Yeah, it's like... I'm trying to think if he actually says that those are people I've killed.
He doesn't. There's not an ounce of anything in terms of the history of any of these characters more than they need to. You don't even know why Sionis is the way he is.
It's true.
You don't know why he's trying to take over.
Right.
Aside from he doesn't like being insulted. Why is he wearing gloves the whole movie?
That is kind of a weird thing too. Like, they don't really explain, like, his gloves. Although it's just like, I think it's just something different for him to have. And he doesn't wear them all the time. There's a few parts where I've seen where he doesn't wear them.
Yeah.
But he wears them the majority of the time.
Is he a germaphobe?
See, that would have been like a nice little thing in there if that was the case.
You know what? If they want to make this movie timely,
yes,
You know what? I'm gonna make the joke anyway.
Okay.
The family that he kills
Right.
in the warehouse.
Yes.
They should have put the mask on him there, and then implied that there was some sort of germ protection thing inside the mask, and that's why he wears that, and the gloves.
Okay. Because there is a...
They might be Chinese.
Oh, jeez.
Because I think they were.
Well, no, I think they were actually... I don't know if they were Chinese. I think they were Chinese mob, but I don't know if they were necessarily...
So he's afraid of the coronavirus.
I think they were probably filming before all that started happening. But there was, I guess, a thing where he didn't like the little girl made like a snot bubble and that grossed him out. There are parts in that like he's like grossed out by. So it could be a germ thing. Is the gloves? I don't know.
Or maybe they're just fashionable to him.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be, I guess, driving gloves, but he doesn't drive himself.
No, he very specifically needs a driver.
Yes.
Without broken legs.
Without broken legs, and that's why Black Canary is his new driver. Which I kind of like was like, why would you ever put your singer as your driver? Like that was there's some things I was like, I guess if you're got to do a lot of jobs.
So she could know about the thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the only reason.
Yeah. And this is a lot different than the actual Birds of Prey. So in the actual Birds of Prey, it's usually Black Canary, Huntress. It is sometimes The Question, which is Renee Montoya.
Is that her name, The Question?
The Question. Like she becomes...
maybe just stick with Montoya.
Yeah.
She becomes The Question.
Yeah. Well, there's another guy who was The Question. She becomes the new Question after, I think, he dies. And the character pretty much looks like Dick Tracy's The Blank.
Yeah.
But the main person who runs the Birds of Prey is Oracle, who was the former Batgirl, after she gets crippled by the Joker, which would have been like an interesting kind of thing. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to introduce Barbara Gordon here. Like, she's in a wheelchair, she got crippled by the Joker.
None of that.
Like, none of that. Which would have been something different.
But she wouldn't have worked with Harley Quinn, though.
I think she has, though, in the past. Well, no, maybe not. Well, that's why I think this movie was supposed to be Gotham City Sirens, which was, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Catwoman. And it's about them, like, stealing stuff in Gotham.
Maybe that'll be the next one.
That might be the next one. I feel like if they do another one with Harley Quinn, it'll probably be Gotham City Sirens. It'll be like Harley Quinn and the Gotham City Sirens.
Do you think she's going to be the Nick Fury of DCU?
I don't know if they're really going for that. It doesn't seem like they're going for like a big tied-in universe. I think they're trying to make their movies, and maybe that's because I don't think the next Batman's tied to this movie or the Joker.
I don't know what the next Batman movie is.
Oh, you know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
That is the thing
the
they're
best
doing.
Penguin ever. It's Twilight as Batman.
They just released images of Robert Pattinson as Batman, which I got a text about while we were here recording.
I can't even... Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. It's fine, I guess. It looks fine in the costume, but it's just a close-up of his face and the cowl.
You can barely see him.
Yep, they did it in red light.
Which is very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
That's the thing that's happening.
Which, fine. Looks like they left out, like, his actual... They're like, let's actually have him have his mouth out instead of, like, this much of his face.
Yeah.
Which I was like, yeah.
Well, he's got to be able to communicate with the 90-pound penguin.
Yeah. Maybe this is like, this explains why he gets fat later.
We're going to see how that movie turns out.
I won't make any judgments until I kind of see something from it that's like an actual like movie trailer or whatever. And find out what the actual story is going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be a bunch of people are upset. Batman has to stop them. Maybe somebody gets kidnapped, and maybe there's a supervillain or like 14.
Yeah. Well, they were saying that this one is going to be more of a detective movie than the previous versions,
That's good.
which I would like. I think that would be a good take on it.
Because I don't know if Robert Pattinson could beat anybody up.
I don't know. I saw him in The Lighthouse, and he could definitely beat up Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe is four times his age.
Well, come on, it's Willem Dafoe. That man is crazy.
He is crazy.
Crazy. I would never fight Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. I'd fight him.
You'd fight him?
I'd fight Willem Dafoe.
No.
Yeah, I would fight different variants of Willem Dafoe.
Would you fight Green Goblin Willem Dafoe?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Without his goblin gear, yeah.
He's crazy.
It's okay. He's not a threat without his goblin gear.
No.
Even with his goblin gear, he just crashes into stuff and dies.
It's true. It's very true.
He really wants revenge on Parker. I'll just be like, Peter Parker's over there and make him look that way and punch him in the face.
Yeah. See, you do that and then he catches your fist. And he looks back at you and he gets the crazy eyes.
Dafoe powers.
This is Willem Dafoe powers. And he does that crazy laugh and then he just starts like biting your neck.
Willem Dafoe the vampire.
That's right.
I believe it.
I could see him doing that.
If anybody would be a vampire, it would be him.
You think?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't see any vampires in this, but
Oh, this is going to be a tough one.
I know. Recently, I just saw the Lock and Key, which is kind of a horror story, but it's mostly I don't know. It's kind of like the Goonies of I guess like Netflix shows. It definitely takes a lot of cues from the books. Does a really good job. And adapts it. You haven't seen it yet, right?
I haven't yet.
You haven't yet. I won't say too much about it.
No, you can talk about it.
I'll talk about it a little bit, just sparingly. I don't want to spoil anything because they changed stuff in it from the books, which I thought actually was very interesting.
Yeah.
So, but kind of kept the spirit of the characters, because a character can what works in a book doesn't always work on a TV show.
Oh yeah.
And this one I think felt the best, as instead of like in a 10-hour movie, this felt like a real like show, like each episode kind of stood on its own. I mean, they kind of all tied together, but each one was kind of good on its own.
Oh, so it's like a Buffy thing.
Yeah.
Where there's an overarching thing.
There's an overarching story.
And then there's episode Monster of the Week type deal.
Yeah. Where this way it's kind of like key of the week kind of thing. So if you don't know about Lock and Key, I'll give you a brief thing. This family moves into their, I guess, ancestral home, and there's all these magic keys, and each one of these magic keys does something different. And so the kids kind of like find these keys and use them in different and interesting ways, and they have weird adventures that, but it's really good. I hope they do a season 2, because it seems like they're very much set up for it. If they don't, this would be a good just like show to watch in general, just like a season of it. But it definitely seems like it's going to go for a season 2.
That's not at all what I thought it was. I honestly thought that it was about John Locke from Lost.
It is.
And Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele.
Yes, it is.
Hanging out together.
They hang out together they find these magic keys.
On the island.
On the island.
Yeah.
Island of Matheson.
No, the island.
Oh, the island?
Yeah.
With Ewan McGregor?
No.
And Scarlett Johansson?
The island from Lost.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Ewan McGregor was also in the island.
Yes. With Scarlett Johansson.
That was a thing.
It was a thing.
No, that movie.
Michael Clark Duncan. Steve Buscemi.
I forgot they were in that at the beginning, yeah?
Oh, man.
Rest in peace, Steve Buscemi.
He's not dead.
You don't know. You don't know when anybody's listening to this.
That's true.
You were dishonorable, and I was future honorable.
Yeah. But if you ever do watch it...
I plan on it.
Okay. It's definitely worth it. They do a really good job. And they add... For this series, they added a few more keys. And I think that's also because after the initial run, he's doing like small short story key stories. So I think they're adding keys in there as well.
That's cool.
But there was stuff that happened in this that I was surprised by, even having read the book. So even if you've read the book, it's definitely worth watching because they do a great job. I think it's probably one of my new favorite shows right now.
Nice. Well, that's a really good thing.
Yeah. So before we get too far in, you've been playing or trying to replay something.
Yeah, well, I had never finished it, so I promised myself that I'm going to finish the following game.
Yes.
Because it'll have been 3 years, and I haven't finished it. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see why everybody loved this game, but nobody I know finished it.
Nobody's finished it.
Nobody's finished it, and I can say it's a pretty game.
Okay.
And that some of the combat is fun.
All right.
But it is so padded with nonsense. I just hate it. I hate certain aspects of it.
No, I love collecting plants.
Oh, well.
And only having a limited amount of satchel size to fill those plants with.
Well, I'm glad you asked me about that, Tim.
Is that in this game? Because that's what I love to play.
If you love inventory management,
my favorite thing,
then Horizon Zero Dawn is for you. Because everybody I know that talks about games,
yes,
they're like, you know the best parts of Resident Evil 4? It wasn't shooting the Las Plagas in the face and watching for the first time seeing that cool parasite pop out and you're like, oh my god, this non-zombie isn't dead yet. That's not the best part of Resident Evil 4.
No.
Best part of Resident Evil 4 is shifting the guns around so you have enough room in your briefcase to carry everything.
Absolutely.
That's it.
My favorite part of that whole game.
It's absolutely.
And I look for it, and you know what? Not a lot of games have inventory management.
That's right. The best part of Grand Theft Auto 3?
Inventory management.
No.
Inventory management.
No, it wasn't running around Liberty City for the first time, like in an open world, getting in your car, just messing with the cops.
Carjacking, running and gunning, that's
taking a rocket launcher,
who wants to do that?
Like creating mayhem.
Have a rocket pack, fly over everything.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Fly a plane into a group of cars that you've stacked up in the middle of nowhere just because you want to.
The best part was only having one type of assault rifle.
That's right.
God forbid you want two. That would be ridiculous. Grand Theft Auto 3 knew exactly how to do it.
Yep.
Best parts of The Witcher?
Inventory management.
Of course. It wasn't the amazing story, the cool side quests.
No.
Like the great combat.
The monsters? Nobody cares about that.
Oh my god, the lore? No.
Nobody cares about that.
It was moving items around in your inventory so you could carry enough and then figuring out what to sell constantly. You know what? I was thinking The Witcher 3 was not a 10 out of 10, despite the fact that it won all these Game of the Year awards. Mm-hmm. Ridiculous. It was like 6 out of 10. It would have been a 7 out of 10 if they'd have made you have to go to your home base after every single mission so you could drop crap off.
That's right.
And if everywhere you walked, not only were there plants to pick up, dead bodies to pick up, and monsters to fight, but if every person that you passed by, or 99% of the people you passed by, and monsters in the wasteland, just wanted to kill you. You see a horse, it's going to attack you. That's what I want out of a game.
Yes.
Well, Horizon Zero Dawn brought that.
That's exactly what I want.
I want to be able to collect plants to increase my health, but also have potions that do the same thing. Yeah, why not? If I'm half dead and I sit down at a campfire, I don't want that thing to heal me, even though it's a save point. Ridiculous. I don't want it to heal me. I want to go have to collect plants. You know what? You know what the limit is on potions, Tim? I bet you're wondering.
How many?
Take a guess.
3.
That's right. It's 3. 3 potions. And do you know how much percentage of your health they do?
How much?
About 30.
Wow.
Get wrecked.
So you can only maybe heal 90% of yourself.
You need the plants. Because there's medicinal plants.
Ooh.
So you can press up on the D-pad at any point to use your medicinal plants. And I know what you're thinking. When you pick up a medicinal plant, how much does it heal you? Or, like, how much percentage of that bar does it fill?
How much?
I don't know, it's random. Sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 14. It's whatever it feels like.
So there's no set. Wow.
It's not set amounts. This was people's game of the year.
Yeah.
Before Zelda came out. Like,
before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. It came out the same year as Breath of the Wild.
And then people were just like, oh, why would I ever play anything but Breath of the Wild?
Well, they had a PlayStation, and this was a PlayStation thing, and Sony was like, this is our number one game. It annoys me that this got so much great treatment,
mm-hmm.
and then Days Gone got hammered for being mediocre. Because
really?
I can't see this being any more mediocre. Like, Days Gone is not more mediocre than this. I would argue that Days Gone is better in that I don't have to worry about my inventory like this.
Yeah. Well, in Days Gone, is it on all consoles?
PlayStation exclusive.
Okay.
It's not even a that thing. It's a Sony-made game, just like this.
Okay.
First party. Like, it's one of their studios.
Yeah.
That one was the guys that used to make Siphon Filter. Horizon is the guys that used to make Killzone.
Right.
Guerrilla Games.
Guerrilla Games.
So it's not that. It's just you and a giant robot you have to shoot 150,000 times.
With a crossbow.
With a bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow, sorry, not
and
a crossbow.
You can also trip them and knock them down, or you can hit them with your spear. But if they hit you, it's like a third of your health gone, minimum.
It should be.
And they can shoot fire across them. Like, some of them, like, breathe fire. There's cool elements to it, right? You got this giant robot dinosaur, and some of them have, like, tanks on their back that are like liquids, and you can use fire arrows and blow that up, and it'll hurt stuff around them. I love that. I love certain aspects of the combat in this game. But I hate the inventory management. The fact that I told you about an area that you couldn't jump up to earlier.
Right.
But the climbing sucks. You can't climb like random areas of the map unless you can jump and land with like a foot of space underneath your feet.
Right.
Before you land. But you can't climb rocks unless they have a yellow thing there. Like somebody's been here and climbed this for you. You're an adventurer in the wilderness. You're called a seeker after you become a member of the tribe that you were like outcast from.
Right.
You're a seeker, and you're climbing up stuff, but people have already explored this area, and where's the fun in that? To be honest, the best parts of games where you're exploring are you're clearing the path, you're paving the way.
Right.
These people have already been there and put down stuff to make your life easier, unless you want to go any way that the game has not determined that you immediately go. And it's an open world. The only time I've been this annoyed by exploration in a game, aside from this,
okay,
Mad Max.
All right.
And I'd rather have had Mad Max's thing than this.
Wow.
And Mad Max's problem with exploration was that there wasn't a jump button at all. I'd rather have that.
Okay.
I'd rather have just ladders in the environment that you can climb. But if you let me jump onto stuff. Let me clamber. What? The beginning of this game, the tutorial is you're going to do this trial, right?
Right.
And it's like this big thing where you're like having a race with all these other tribe members, and if you win, you're going to get like your one wish, but it's not really a wish. But one thing you want from the All-Mothers, and Aloy wants to find out who her mother was.
Right.
And it's like this big you have to climb to the top of this cliff, and like you have to do it the fastest, and all this other stuff. But really, you're just climbing yellow stuff. You're just climbing yellow stuff, and that's what Horizon Zero Dawn is.
Sounds amazing. Why do you want to play this game again?
Because there's got to be a reason they're making it 2.
Probably because the first one wasn't good and they want to fix it with the second one.
I bet you the end of this game, it has to be mind-blowing. Like, whatever this plot is, it has to be Bloodborne. I'm going to spoil a little bit of Bloodborne for you, okay?
Okay.
Bloodborne has great combat.
It does.
Great exploration.
Yes. Crazy good enemies.
Cool lore.
Yes.
Fun enemies. When you're fighting a boss, it might take you a minute, but you're not shooting them the same way 75,000 times with an arrow.
Right.
Unless, if you want to play Bloodborne the Horizon way, just use your pistol the whole game.
Okay.
Anyway, but Bloodborne has another cool thing. Did I ever tell you what it is?
What?
What's going on in Bloodborne? Like, there's these wolf-like creatures, right? And there's the hunt, and it's this big thing.
Right.
About 2/3 of the way through, you find out that they're not wolf-like creatures. They're aliens. And then you fight, like, actual alien things.
Right.
And you start to see actual alien things, and you're like, oh my god, my mind is blown. What have I been doing this whole game? Horizon has to have that. Otherwise, it can't have the reviews it has. There's no way.
So you think it's going to be revealed those, like, animal robots are alien things, or...
It has to be mind-blowing. And
Right.
it has to be so good and well-scripted. And the voice acting is fine.
Okay.
I don't remember any of the characters at all. And that was the problem I had the first time, too. Go here and do this mission. Okay, person I'll forget about in 30 seconds. Give me a side quest to go collect some stuff or clear a bandit camp. Why are there bandit camps? I don't know. It's another tribe. Why are they here? This entire area is filled with corrupted dinosaur monsters.
Right.
Not controlled by this other tribe. But they're bandits, and they're just, I'm going to set up shop here. Whatever. It's fine. It's cool. I'll go clear that area with this guy who clearly wants to murder all the bandits. And I'm not going to ask him why. It's fine. Give me RPG mechanics in this game that have no real result. It's fine. Let me ask questions that don't matter. Because the choices don't make a difference. It's fine. It's fine. I need that. I need more of that in the game.
Okay. So is there anything fun, anything redeeming that you're going to...
Some of the combat's cool, and the design is good.
Okay.
And when you're doing the stealth thing, sometimes the stealth works really well.
All right.
It's a lot of hiding in a bush and pressing the down button to call over a robot dinosaur and hitting them with the stealth mechanic move. And sometimes it's not enough. Don't worry about it. It's not. Sometimes it won't be a one-shot kill.
All right.
And if it's not, you can have a bad time because you're shooting a lot of dinosaurs 400 times and hitting them with your spear.
Oh, so it's bow and arrow and spear.
Yeah, she's a caveman in the future with a Bluetooth headset. That's the game.
All right.
Zero Dawn.
Sounds
Don't know why.
amazing. Amazing.
And I think there was a cult.
Oh, in the game there's a cult?
I think there was a cult that led to this. I think it was, we're going to kill ourselves and unleash this AI. And I could be wrong.
Okay.
I'll have to ask the All-Mother.
The All-Mother. When you go to Valhalla.
Why do they talk like it's now? Why do they talk like... How can you...
It would probably be more annoying if they talked in, like, weird caveman talk.
Not weird caveman talk, but when you have leaders of the tribe called, like, the All-Mother, and you have, like, these weird rituals, and everybody sits around bonfires and sings and stuff like that, where they're almost prehistoric or, like, even medieval times, right?
Right.
I don't want my medieval times to be like, hey, what's up, man?
I would. I'd be like, hey, bro.
That guy over there, he's crazy. What?
Well, we'll follow your adventures as you go through this game.
Yeah.
I can't wait for next week and hear that you quit again.
I'm not going to quit it.
I think you're going to quit it.
I'm not going to. I'm going to finish this game.
What if there was another Zelda game released? Would you quit this game?
Nope. I have to finish it.
All right.
I have to, because there's got to be a reason.
There might not be a reason.
I have that personality sometimes where I just can't understand why people like things, and I need to know why they like them the way they do.
All right.
Because I'm in the minority here. People love this game. I showed you the Metacritic.
Oh yeah, no, it's very well reviewed.
But nobody's finished it.
I've seen cosplayers dressed as this character.
Aloy. Her name is Aloy, Tim.
Aloy.
Not Alloy.
That's right. She's metal.
She's not metal.
She's super
She's
metal.
named after metal.
She also has a metal band.
She might. Aloy and the Watchers.
That's right. Uatu. But yeah, so next week we'll follow up with Bob and see how that goes, and we'll talk about a few more things that we watched.
Mm-hmm.
So as always, as we're ending here, you can find me on the Instagrams at Tim Martinek. You can find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, and the app of your choice. We're also on YouTube. And, write us, review us. And you can find Bob at...
I'm on Instagram at Bob J. Martin, Marton. And I'm on Twitch.tv at Spectre316.
Yeah.
It's not an at, though. Don't
You know
why I
what?
said that.
And maybe eventually we'll have to have... we'll do a little explainer video after Bob beats this or quits, whichever comes first.
I'm going to beat it.
And we'll do a little... we'll put it up on YouTube and have Bob explains... Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's an idea.
I think that might be our first one.
Instead, you can watch Bob explain Dark Souls badly and get
Either
killed
one.
in hilarious ways.
Yeah, see it on his Twitch. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
To do a little redesigning with us, you can find Bob at Martin MARTON_BOB on Twitter. And you can find me on Instagram at Tim Martinek, all one word, TIMMARTINEC. And you can join in us, have some fun, do your redesigns for this week's redesign. It's a lot of fun for us to do this, but we like to see fresh ideas and fresh artists like doing what they do as well. You can also hashtag it Precarious Pixels and we'll find it as well.